Are you ready?
Hello, Chris. How are you?
What up? I'm great. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you for asking. First off, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me on today's show.
Well, thank you for taking the time to do this.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to give my little stint here. Guys, welcome to the Degenerate Sessions on YouTube. Be in the Elite fan page right here on Instagram. We're live today, exclusive interview with the one and only Chris Vliet. I am more than excited, nervous. Everything's going through my body right now. The energy is flowing, and I am so excited for this interview.
Me too. All of those things are happening to me too.
Awesome. That's how I feel. You're a very positive guy, right? And I look up to you, man. I follow all your stuff. But it is not about me today 100%. It is about you. So what do you say we jump right into it?
Let's do this thing. Also, it's always great to talk to a fellow Canadian.
Yeah, 100%, right? We're going to start there. So we know you grew up in Canada. For the fans that are watching, you want to tell us about where you grew up and everything?
Pickering, Ontario is my hometown, so that's just outside of Toronto, maybe 20, 30 minutes east of Toronto. But, yeah, I'm Blue Jays, Maple Leafs, Raptors, and, the Argos are, maybe not.
Maybe not, eh? I'm not an Argos fan, and I'm not a Leafs fan. Sorry, I'm a Blue Jays and Raptors.
Tyler Breeze is in here. What's up, man?
Oh, what's up, Tyler? How are you? That's awesome. Tyler Breeze is in here. How's it going, Tyler? That's awesome, man. All right, so, Chris, what have you been doing during quarantine to keep yourself busy? Any little projects you can tell us about or anything?
I've been doing as much as I can. So, I was traveling around doing the interviews in person. That was my main thing for the longest time, and obviously that's not, a thing we can do anymore. So I've been working out as much as I can. I've been doing interviews like this or via Zoom or Skype, but just keep them busy. Other than the fact that we can't dine in restaurants or where I live in California, work out inside, life's pretty much the same.
Well, Toronto's skyrocketing, but that's here or there. We're definitely going up in numbers as well, so I feel something coming. But
your numbers skyrocketing would be like the tiniest numbers anywhere in America.
100%, right? But they are going up, and I know I keep hearing about a lockdown, but again, outside of our control, all we can do is protect ourselves by wearing masks and protecting others. So
that's the biggest thing. As John Cena told me, control the controllable.
Yeah, 100%. You can't control what's uncontrollable, right? So control whatever's in control. All right, so let's go back here. Where did your journey start wrestling? How did you fall in love with wrestling, and what made you want to take the time to interview and pursue that as your career?
So my very first memory of wrestling would be my grandparents live in Scarborough, and it would be on, my grandpa's not like a huge wrestling fan, but he just loves sports. So if baseball wasn't on, if hockey wasn't on, because of course, big hockey fan, he would have wrestling on a Saturday night. So that was like my first introduction in late 80s. We're talking Macho Man and Sergeant Slaughter, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Repo Man, Coco Beware. Yeah.
The Repo Man. Oh my God, you're going back.
But it was like 98, 99 Attitude Era is like when I really got into this. Austin McMahon was the big storyline, and I was on my high school wrestling team. And when you're an amateur wrestler, you're told oh, you can't watch that wrestling stuff. That's fake. But I got you couldn't hear his face.
Hold on. I told you that. I've never heard a story like this. I didn't mean to cut you off, but if you can go more in depth, I'd love to hear about that.
Oh, well, when you're on the high school wrestling team, most of the stuff you do in pro wrestling, you cannot do in amateur wrestling. Most of the moves are illegal or, just not able to pull off. So it's just what we do in here, what we do in the gym, this is real. And what they do on TV, well, that's just like an act. And I was just drawn into it, though. I was really drawn into pro wrestling, and I was all about it. So that was it for me. And when I become passionate about something, I dive all the way into it. So I became really passionate about pro wrestling. Wanted to be a pro wrestler. Was part of a backyard wrestling company. Oh yeah, I did it all.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Let's talk about Austin and McMahon. How did that sucker you in? What was it? Just a feud of somebody kicking their boss's ass every night? Because that's what it was for me. I'll be honest with you. Stone Cold, you know what I mean? I couldn't kick my principal's ass. So
right. My best friend was obsessed with wrestling. Shout out to my friend Vince Reynolds. And back in 1998, when you had a friend, you did this crazy thing called talking on the phone with them. I know people don't do it anymore. Yeah.
No.
So we talked on the phone, and I knew that at 9 o'clock every Monday night, our phone call had to come to an end because he was going to watch wrestling. And I said, bear with me here. I will watch the show so we can continue our conversation. I'll put this thing on TSN, and we'll watch. And I'm like, oh, my God, like, this bald guy with the goatee, like, that's pretty cool. I like what he's doing. And that was it. It was just Austin was such a mega star. Rock was a huge star, and I just got sucked into it.
Oh, 100%. Austin, when that glass broke, I remember when he came back, he returned a couple times. And that, even when he returns now, when the Shanner goes, the fans go insane. They go insane. So I completely agree with you there. What's your opinion on the no fans in the arenas? I know we have the digital now, but the beginning of the pandemic and stuff, how do you think the company's handled that? And what's your opinion on it? If you can, anything you can tell us.
Well, they didn't have a choice. And I appreciate that while every other sport basically either ended their season or put it on hold, I appreciate that wrestling continued. There was no break. Every single Wednesday we had Dynamite. Every single Monday we had Raw. Every single Friday we had SmackDown. And I appreciate that while everything else was crazy in the world and we couldn't do the things that we wanted to do, I appreciate that wrestling was that constant. So... Sure, it's strange and it's weird, and we all were making these memes. You saw the memes back in March of like, they're going to be empty arena matches. It's like, yeah, but at least there's still going to be matches. So I think that both AEW and WWE and Impact Wrestling have all figured out a way to make this work. And sure, it's a weird time right now, but I appreciate that we're moving forward and we still have wrestling to watch on TV.
I completely agree with you. I understand the situation, but it gave us something, especially during the pandemic when we were all in lockdown. It gave us something to watch on those nights, and I loved it. I was so appreciative of it. So that is awesome. I completely agree with you. On that topic, the wrestling scene is exploding. It was exploding before the pandemic. It's been exploding for a couple of years now. What's your opinion on that? You're part of it, 100%. You're one of my idols. I'm not just saying that. I follow you, all your interviews, love your stuff. So what's your opinion on it exploding and like it's such a great time to be in the business, and now with the pandemic it's gotten even more up there, you know what I mean? There's NXT, AEW, Impact, New Japan, all these brands give us so much content that it's fantastic. And how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. But look, I think 2019 was a time we're going to look back on in 10, 15, 20 years. There will be documentaries made about the wrestling scene in 2019 because for almost 20 years, we didn't really have a choice. It was whatever was on WWE is what you watched. So AEW coming in, whether you're an AEW fan, you're a WWE fan, Impact, New Japan, whatever, MLW, it doesn't matter. Ring of Honor. But the fact that AEW came in and basically said, yeah, we're going to play in the same league as WWE. Whether you like us or not, we're here to stay. And I just think that it raised the bar for everyone. And I love the phrase that rising tides lift all ships. And I think it's true. AEW coming in has helped all the workers across the board, no matter where you work. So I think that that's what's been so cool about it. And we live in a time where we have these supercomputers in our pocket. And we can watch any match that's ever existed in the history of the world. And that's also what's really exciting. You know, I say all the time, this is the most exciting time to be a wrestling fan. And a lot of people go, what about the Attitude Era, man? And I'm like, the Attitude Era was great. Don't get me wrong. But we have more options now than we've ever had before.
Yeah, we do. 100%. I completely agree with you. We definitely have options. It's different types of wrestling, right? The Attitude Era was one of a kind. It's in the past. We can watch it, like you said. It's always there to watch. It was amazing. Right now is a time that it's amazing to be a wrestling fan. Like you said, I got back in, suckered back in from the Bucks. I'm not going to lie to you, Bucks, Adam Cole. And then I started watching Indies, New Japan. Then I realized I want to start interviewing and being an announcer. And I found you, Alicia Tao, Jennifer Sturgeon, and it's such a great time for everybody, whether you're in the ring or outside the ring, even production and everything, right? It gives everybody an opportunity, especially with all these companies that are flourishing. So I completely agree with you there, and it's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. It's only going to keep getting better. And I appreciate that AEW is starting to have some fans back. I imagine when WWE's deal with the Amway Center is done, I imagine maybe we'll start to see some fans with WWE. But, I feel for the people who have had great moments or have had big returns or have had big debuts during this time. And you're coming out to no reaction, or at least no immediate reaction. Huge reactions online, but no immediate reaction.
Yeah. And in our own households, 100%. When Miro appeared, I don't.
I just interviewed him this morning.
Oh, that's awesome! That is amazing. I can't wait. I've been listening.
Yeah, we'll have that. I think next Tuesday. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, so that was a spoiler?
Might be.
That's cool.
It's no spoiler that I did the interview. I just don't know when. I don't know. Tuesday, sure.
No, yeah, I meant the spoiler when you're uploading it and stuff, right?
A little preview for you.
A little preview, eh? Thank you so much. So tell us some of your hobbies. Anything you do on your own time other than working out? Anything, movies, video games, dive into food, anything you love? Just some fun questions.
So I'm very passionate about bass fishing, so much so that my fishing partner and I started a bass fishing company. So if you're into bass fishing, Woo Tungsten is our company. Woo Tungsten. So that's something I'm really into. Obviously, working out. Now that I live in California, I do a lot of hiking. So eating pizza is definitely a pastime of mine. Pizza, so good.
What do you like about pizza?
I'm a pepperoni, pretty basic guy. I will tell you this: you probably are tired of Pizza Nova and Pizza. I got to tell you, I miss Pizza Nova and Pizza so much. The crust at Pizza. So good.
I can send you some. It might not be good when it gets there.
I will take it. Yeah, give me some of that dipping sauce too.
The creamy garlic. The creamy garlic.
Creamy garlic, and I know it's just Frank's Hot, but they're hot. It's so good.
Oh, it is 100%. You're completely right, 100%. Can you talk to us about your journey? Let's dive into your career a little bit and the journey and the start of your journey. Can you talk to us about that and for the fans that just started following and, of course, and other people that aren't in here, just talk to us about your journey, where you came from. Sorry, I got a little nervous there, a little butterfly, started stuttering.
I think the journey began for me when I was 4 years old. I have a Fisher-Price radio with a tape recorder. We're going way back here into the 80s. Yeah. And I would mimic my favorite radio and TV broadcasters into the microphone on my tape recorder. So that's, I think, where the journey really began. My mom, Helen Van Vliet, she's the best. She still has those tapes, I'm sure. But I just, I had communication studies classes in high school, and I just loved it. We made these news broadcasts, and we got to learn how the cameras worked and audio worked, all that type of stuff. And when it came time, when you're 17 years old, to pick a college major, university major, I'm like, well, communication studies was fun. I guess I will go study that. And I went off to Wilfrid Laurier University, started studying communication studies. What's up to my boy Brandon Davis here in the comments? This is great.
How are you?
Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone who's watching and leaving a comment.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So when I was in college, I was studying communication studies. Sorry, I've Americanized myself here. Geez, I went to university for all our Canadian people watching, but now that I live here, I call everything college. So yeah. I was at university. I was studying communications, and I just had this epiphany in my final year that it was so much fun living with my friends. It was so much fun being at university, but I knew that it was going to end. And when it ended, I knew I was going to have to work for the rest of my life. I was going to have to work for the next 40, 50 years of my life. So I had an epiphany in that moment that I didn't want to hate my job. And at best, I wanted to have a job that I at least didn't mind going to. And that's honestly where it all began. And I reached out to every radio station, every TV station in my college town, and basically said, can I come and see how it's done in the real world? And one radio station said, yeah, come be on our street team. You can hand out stickers at events. It was Rogers Community Television, said, sure, all our positions here are run by volunteers. Come on in. We'll definitely find a spot for you. So I ran cameras there, did VTR, floor directing, was even on camera at the odd time. And then 570 News in Waterloo, a news talk station, said, we don't take on volunteers, but how would you like to have a job? And I'm like, what? This is insane. They said, yeah, it only pays $8 an hour. I'm like, that's $8 more than I thought I was going to make. And I went in and started working as a board operator. And that's honestly where the journey began. My final year of university, I got these 3 opportunities to see how it was done in the real world. And then when I graduated, I was trying to get an internship that would kind of help me like guide my career. And nobody was interested in giving me an internship because I wasn't going to get a college credit for it. So I found the email of the general manager at Chex TV in Peterborough, which is about an hour away from where my parents lived, 60 miles, 100 kilometers. And I got his email, and I made up this story. I said, it's spring break next week. I'm going to be in Peterborough. I would love to come by and just chat with you about this. And he goes, oh, well, if you're going to be in town, come on in. We'll have a conversation. I don't want to promise you anything. So I showed up, and he looks at my resume. He goes, looks like you've been filling your resume with a lot of stuff. We don't usually do this, but I'd like to create an internship position for you. And I'm like, oh, my God, I can't believe me lying about being in this city actually worked, turned into an internship. Long story short, my internship turned into a job. I was paying for the gas to drive there by working at the Pickering Town Center, PJ's Pet Center, in the fish department. This was my high school job. I basically begged them for a job so I could have some money to pay for the gas to fuel my 1995 Toyota Corolla to drive to my job. So this is how it all came together for me.
It all makes sense to me. It all makes sense because I've worked in Scarborough and everything, so I know Peterborough and all those areas, right? That's awesome, though. So that opportunity led to stuff, right? And the guy took his time to create an internship. That means something, right? You're building your resume. I know the lie was there, whatever, but that's awesome, man. That's a great opportunity. We missed you back here in Canada, so anytime you do want to come back and lead us, to the promised land, that'd be awesome.
Well, once the borders open up, I'd love to go home. I haven't seen my parents since Christmas.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, a couple fun questions. What's your favorite movies? Movie time.
Well, my favorite movie is the greatest movie of all time, Back to the Future.
Oh wow, hey, I'm going to argue there. I'm a Lord of the Rings guy.
Ooh, I mean, good choice, but it's still Back to the Future.
Yeah, it's not Back to the Future. If I have to go like the 90s, I'm going to go with Armageddon.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think so. I love movies, and it's actually part of my job to watch movies, review movies, interview celebrities. Yeah, I will watch any type of movie. I think that thrillers and like scary movies, that's probably horror movies. Those are probably my go-to.
Oh, really? Eh? That's awesome. How about video games? You a gamer at all?
I don't play anymore, and it's nothing against it. It takes up so much of my time, and I gave so much of my time from ages 6 to probably 26 playing video games that when I was traveling so much for work, I was just like, something's got to give. I guess it's got to be my PlayStation.
Wow, that's crazy. We got Platinum Saki that says, your favorite Muppet?
My favorite Muppet? Man. I think probably the old guys in the balcony that make fun of everything.
That is awesome.
They're hilarious.
So before I let you go, I do want to say thank you so much for taking your time out of your day and everything to take your time with us. I appreciate it so much. I wish you nothing but the best. I'm looking forward to all your interviews, and stay safe. I'll let you say bye to everyone.
Thank you for taking the time to do this. Thank you for everyone who's been dropping in and out of this. Thank you for all the very nice comments here, Ryan. I don't know if I'm the best wrestling interviewer of all time, but that's very kind. And yes, I should mention I am going to be in a video game. I'm going to be the ring announcer of the Wrestling Code. So thank you for pointing that out, Tone Guma. Yes.
That's awesome.
I love reading people's usernames because sometimes they don't want to. So yes, Virtual Basement is an incredible company that's putting together the Wrestling Code. So I'm very excited to be the ring announcer of that game, which hopefully we'll be seeing soon.
Yeah, 100%. I'm definitely getting that game. Last thing before I ask every one of you, you got any tips, advice for me?
You got to do it. I mean, and you are doing it. I think that's the biggest thing is you actually have to be in this and doing it. And so many people dream about doing it. So many people talk about doing it, but you're actually doing it. So congratulations to you for actually taking the leap, making this thing happen, and just start doing more of it. Why not? Also, I know that we were supposed to do this last week. I hope that your friend is okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. He is. He's probably in here watching, so he's going to know that I told you. So thank you so much for saying that, because it was a rough time, and I'm really happy that he is doing better. So thank you for sitting with me this Thursday. I really appreciated it. Have a great day and stay safe. This is Dominic, the Twos from the Degenerate Sessions on YouTube, being the Elite fan page, signing off. The greatest interviewer, Chris Van Vliet. Have a great night.
Woo!
Take care, Chris. Thank you.